In our last video, you saw us spring on a deal for 3 military trailers, including 2 Bantam T3-Cs from the 1940s. We have some major plans for these platforms, and we couldn't be more excited. But first, we need to get them home and bring them back to life. When I think of the ideal overlanding setup, I think of maneuverability and I think of comfort. The Samurai dominates in the former, but has zero frills or creature comforts and can't afford the top heaviness of a rooftop tent. We started to get into the idea of saving weight in our vehicles and opting to incorporate trailers into our setups to get the best of both worlds. Comfort in the base camp without reduced performance on the trail. The first step in this so-called restoration is to disassemble as many parts as possible and expose the rust. That pretty much turned out to be the tongue, the lighting and wiring, and the wheels. I chose not to disassemble the leaf springs, since this isn't a showpiece and the bushings seemed acceptable.
I do think my trailer's a bit more tanky than yours, though.
The heavily oxidized gray paint is actually not the original from 1947. The original hunter green coat, made for this civilian version, was found underneath the gray coat. From the factory, this Bantam T3-C, C for civilian, incorporated a tailgate, which adds to the convenience, but sacrifices its ability to float in river crossings. I'll take the tailgate, personally. The 500-pound trailer has a gross capacity of about 1,000 pounds, which coincidentally matches the Samurai's stock towing capacity. I'd love to keep this as light as possible, but after incorporating a fridge, lithium battery system, a propane stove and tank, a 30-gallon water tank, and eventually a rooftop tent, I'll be approaching 1,000 pounds dry. Well, it's 6 a.m. bright and early. We decided to get started super early today because the weather is crazy hot. It's supposed to get up to 93, 94 today. We wanted to beat the heat, so we're out here and hopefully we'll wrap up the 2 coats of Pour 15 by maybe 10 a.m. And then we'll wait until the evening or maybe tomorrow to actually do the tan top coat. I came out here last night pretty late, 11 p.m. or so, and I finished cleaning my trailer completely, let it dry overnight. I think Conrad has to do still the phosphoric acid on his. I'm going to get going on the Pour 15, and hopefully we get this all done pretty darn quickly here. The first step in any painting project is to suit up. Pour 15 has some nasty isocyanate in it, and the vapors will absorb through your skin if you aren't careful. To stay true to the origins of this style of trailer, I chose to go for a matte tan look, referred to as CARC, Chemical Agent Resistant Coating number 686. There are only 2 vendors that manufacture the imitation paint, Gillespie Coatings and Army Jeep Parts. A gallon runs about $70 with shipping and tax and needs to be reduced with acrylic enamel reducer, xylene, or mineral spirits 3 parts paint to 1 part reducer. As with any top coat, it always does better with a rust preventive base coat. I'm shooting this one with a 1.4mm tip in my HVLP gun with about 27 psi.
Sometimes pick ourselves up off the ground and learn how to rise. It's like I've been down so long that I just might stay here for a while I clear my mind. So you can cut my leaves, but you can't kill my roots, and you can twist my words, but you can't stop the truth because it's imminent. Tell me, are you listening? Universe is speaking to you. We are just the instruments. When the sun is getting low, look at how the redwoods grow. You forgot, but now you know. Just look at how the redwoods grow, yeah.
Look at the reason everyone's sleeping, ain't got nothing to believe in. Dreams are TV, they can see the changing of the seasons. Life is a breeze and somebody else is just fighting to fucking be breathing. Rule of treason seems to be always dealing with some heathen.
But we will rise, we will make it to the top, yeah.
All right, well, Conrad's mom has a Cricut machine, which basically allows you to create stencils. So we've got a couple different iterations here for each of our vehicles, and we're just gonna see what looks good. Probably my favorite.
Yeah.
That looks pretty dang good. That fits really nicely in the space.
And you can even lower it down a little. Yeah.
Yep, kind of like center it. Yep, I like that a lot.
So we'll stick it right there.
That's pretty lined up.
That's close enough.
Cool. Nicely done. Really, just very, very little. Yeah, exactly.
Get that old axle out of the way so we can reuse the springs.
How do those springs look?
They look pretty good.
Sweet.
Sounds amazing.
That's great, yeah.
Sounds like it.
I mean, it's a hot well, dude. It's
but we
quite-
want it to be, right?
Yeah.
We want it to have great penetration because this is very load bearing.
Yep.
It looks good.
It looks pretty good, right?
Looks good through the camera. Oh yeah, dude, that's amazing, dude.
With the painting out of the way, it's time to install the wheels and tires. I'm using the original wheels on mine, which happen to match the Samurai's bolt pattern of 5 on 5.5, meaning I only need to carry one spare. But instead of non-directional tread of the 1940s military era, I opted for some tubeless all-terrains that Ben had left over. Conrad wanted his bolt pattern to match his 4Runner's 6 on 5.5, meaning he needed to procure either new hubs or a new axle assembly. He wasn't able to locate hubs with the correct inner diameter and bolt pattern combination, so he picked up a 3,500-pound Dexter axle with the ability to add a parking brake. The width is wider than stock, so he'll need to extend his fenders. We hope you enjoyed us bringing these functional pieces of history back to life. We like to think of ourselves as curators in the sense that we'll take good care of these historic platforms for years, but we have big plans in the works. Stay tuned for our upcoming videos on the system build-outs to turn these into truly functional overlanding rigs.